Roberts.
We do have a quorum. We're going to go into executive session first. I make a motion that we go into executive session. I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I move that we take up Senate Bill 186. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed no. And the ayes have it. This is Senator Brown's bill relating to the teller machines, also known as smash and grab, that we heard last week. And I move that we vote Senate Bill 186 out of committee. Do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Barb, would you please call the roll?
Senators Crawford.
Aye.
Trent.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Hoskins. Huff.
Aye.
Mosley. Roberts. 4-1.
By your vote of 4-1, you have do passed Senate Bill 186. And let me flip back here. Okay, I now move that we take up Senate Bill 187. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. This is Senator Brown's bill that we heard last week as well, dealing with Consumer Financial Disclosure Act. We do have a committee sub ending in .02C, and I move that we adopt the sub. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any discussion on the sub? I believe it was distributed to you via email already. There were some things that we had in there some typos and things like that. I think this makes it like the bill we passed last year. So we just had to make a few changes to that original bill that didn't carry through from the changes we were able to make last year. So I would ask for, I make a motion that we adopt the substitute. Do I have I'm sorry. All those in favor of adopting the substitute, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. And the ayes have it. I now move that we vote Senate Bill 187 with Senate Committee substitute out of committee. Do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, Barb, please call the roll.
Senators Crawford.
Aye.
Trent.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Hoskins.
Aye.
Huff.
Aye.
Mosley. Roberts.
Aye.
7.
By your vote of 7-1, you have do pass Senate Committee substitute for Senate Bill 187. I move that we go out of executive session. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And we are out of executive session. We're going to first hear Senate Bill 181. That's my bill. I'm going to pass the gavel to the Vice Chair.
Senator, please proceed when ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Sandy Crawford, District 28. Thanks for the opportunity to hear Senate Bill 181. Today, I'm going to give you the very basic high-level overview, and I have some really great witnesses behind me that are going to fill in some blanks. So the Missouri Employers Mutual, also known as MIM, was created in 1993 as a public corporation in order to improve workers' comp insurance. It was in a bad state at that point in time. Since then, MIM has served its purpose. It brought stability to the market just like it was supposed to. They had initially been loaned, I believe it was $5 million, and they have repaid that with interest. And MIM is not really any longer needed to serve that purpose, and they would now like to become a private mutual insurance company, and that is exactly what Senate Bill 181 does. Happy to try to answer questions, but I have some really great witnesses behind me that could probably do a better job than I.
Questions for the bill sponsor from the committee? Seeing none, thank you for that presentation. Witnesses here testify in support Senate Bill 181. Please come forward, fill out witness form, and proceed when ready.
Chair.
And you might make sure your microphone is on and draw it toward you a little bit.
Yes. Is that better?
It may not be on yet. There we go.
You go. Thank you, Acting Chair and members of the committee, for the opportunity to speak in favor of Senate Bill 181. I'm Jim Owen. I'm CEO of Missouri Employers Mutual, or MEM as we call it. Our mission is to bring workers home safe and sound to their families every day, and we're very proud of that. And I'm excited to talk to you about Senate Bill 181 and the three great opportunities that it allows the people of Missouri. First, privatization allows MEM to transition from government control to compete with private workers' compensation carriers in a free and open market, which it's not allowed to do right now. That will benefit all Missouri businesses. It allows the businesses that in the state of Missouri to no longer sponsor insurance business. And that is something that it should do, because right now it should only regulate it like it does all other private carriers, not sponsor it. Second, Senate Bill 181 will result in lower workers' compensation rates for Missouri businesses. That will help retain businesses in Missouri and attract more businesses to Missouri with lower prices. The 1993 law that created Missouri Employers Mutual limits us to writing businesses only in Missouri. And that Senate Bill 181 will remove that barrier. That allows us, MEM, as the market leader, to compete with that other 50% of the market where we are not competing now. And one thing we all know is competition drives down prices. It always has, and it always will. The private carriers that we compete with actually published a study that talked about what's happened in the other 6 states where the legislature has already privatized state funds like ours. It said, and I quote, "Overall, workers' compensation rates fell following legislation that fully privatized workers' compensation state funds, and no state has returned to a government-run state fund." The third thing this bill will do is benefit our current policyholders and our very vast agent force. But it will also, again, help those Missouri businesses that have offices outside the state that we can't effectively serve today. And again, that's 50% of the market. That 1993 state law that made sense in that economy in 1993 makes no sense in today's economy, where businesses are regional and national, not in a single state. But our businesses and our agents are growing, and we don't want to be restricted from growing with them. As you will hear from our witnesses today, our agents and our policyholders and the associations are fully behind this bill. There was a need, as Senator Crawford said, when we were created, because there was a crisis in the market. But today's workers' compensation market is very competitive. It is very stable and is healthy. And we helped accomplish that. Today, the Missouri workers' compensation market safety is at an all-time high. It's been the most successful and profitable market for 7 straight years. But that doesn't mean it still can't improve. And we want it to improve. We want rates to drop, because that will, again, attract more businesses to Missouri, and we need that to happen. We need to attract more businesses to Missouri. In closing, the Senate Bill 181 will allow us to, 1, transition from government control, 2, lower rates by competing on a level playing field, and 3, continue to expand MEM's mission to bring safety to more Missouri businesses. The last thing I'll say is MEM has always been committed to the community, which other insurance companies in Columbia area have been as well. That will never waver. One thing we're committed to doing is continue to remain committed to a safer, healthier, and more confident communities. Thank you for your time, and I'm open for any questions.
Thank you for that testimony. Questions for this witness from the committee? Seeing none, thank you again for being here this afternoon. Next witness to testify in support. Please proceed when ready.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Matt Barton. I serve as the Chief Executive Officer of the Missouri Association of Insurance Agents. I'm here to testify in support of Senate Bill 181. MAIA is the largest and oldest insurance agent association in the state of Missouri. We represent almost 450 independent agencies across the state, as well as almost 5,000 individual insurance agents. Missouri Employers Mutual, or MEM as we call it, is one of the association's largest and oldest partners. It's never failed to support the independent agent population in the state. As Mr. Owen said, largely because of the creation of MEM, Missouri's market has stabilized, and MEM paid back the aforementioned loan within just a few years. MEM now writes almost 23% of the direct workers' compensation market in Missouri. And I can tell you during my 9 years here at the association, as well as my almost 10 years at the Missouri Department of Insurance, I had the privilege of seeing MEM grow as a company into one that my member agents rely upon, not only because they will provide a great product at a competitive price, but also because they have one of the most effective workplace safety programs on the market. This helps keep employees safe so that injuries can be avoided before they would otherwise result in a claim. The privatization of MEM will allow them to do what they have done in Missouri and other states, provide value and service in the workers' compensation market. Currently, the ability for insurance agents to write policies for risks that stretch across states in addition to Missouri is somewhat hampered by a less than effective procedure, as the MEM entity can only operate in Missouri. Passage of Senate Bill 181 would allow the company employers to recognize administrative efficiencies. Having to cobble together, if you will, coverage across two companies results in more complexity for employers. 2 annual audits, 2 companies to manage the claims process, 2 places to remit payment. Senate Bill 181 would alleviate those burdens. During my tenure as CEO, I've had the privilege also of serving on the MEM Agent Advisory Panel. Quite often, the agents on that panel ask for specialized or tailored solutions as far as workers' compensation is concerned for their clients. Currently, MEM cannot do that. They can only offer a standard workers' compensation policy. The structural changes pursuant to this legislation would allow MEM to meet client needs more effectively and efficiently, reducing the regulatory burden that filters down to the individual businesses in Missouri. Passage of Senate Bill 181 would allow a more competitive marketplace in Missouri, provide MEM the tools it needs to provide workers' compensation coverage, and in the end, keep more workers safe on the job. Thank you again for allowing me to provide testimony, as well as your handling of this bill, Senator Crawford. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions for this witness from the committee? Seeing none, thank you for being here this afternoon. Next witness to testify in support.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Heidi Geis-Bueller-Sutherland here on behalf of the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The former witnesses gave all of the testimony so well. We just want to echo their thoughts. We would love to level the playing field and decrease workers' comp costs.
Thank you for that testimony. Questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you again. Next witness testify in support.
Good afternoon, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the committee. Ray McCarty, President of Associated Industries of Missouri. In fact, we're the oldest trade association in the state, and we're founded to write the very first workers' comp law. So workers' comp is very important to us. I have to tell you that MEM has been great in the safety area. Educated. We do a lot of webinars with them on safety, and so we know that they have really helped improve the safety situation. We're happy to see them be able to serve a market that they can't serve today by being able to, if they are able to be privatized, be able to serve those companies that have locations not just in Missouri but in other states as well. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for this witness from the committee? Seeing none, thank you for being here. Next witness testify in support. Please proceed when ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brad Jones with the NFIB. I was actually here in '93. I can tell you how bad the workers' comp market was for small business people. I've seen the double-digit increases that we had for a number of years, and I also know that the reason that MEM was put together certainly worked, and I can tell you that a large percentage of the small business population of this state relies on MEM for their insurance and their safety needs, and I think they've taken very good care of them. And from NFIB's standpoint, we only wish them the best as they move forward. So I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Questions for this witness from the committee? Seeing none, thank you for being here. Next witness testify in support.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Brandon Koch on behalf of Missouri Insurance Coalition, here to testify in support of the bill. MEM is one of our valued members, and I want to commend them for the work they did to visit with the stakeholders prior to introducing the bill so that you have a situation like this where everybody comes up in support. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you for being here. Next witness testify in support. Seeing none, any witnesses here to testify in opposition? Senate Bill 181. Seeing none, any here to testify for informational purposes only? Seeing none, Senator, would you like to have a closing statement?
Just thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Vice Chair, would you go ahead and call the next hearing, please?
Absolutely. That will conclude the hearing on Senate Bill number 181. We will next have the public hearing for Senate Bill number 63. Senator Roberts, please proceed when ready.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank the members of this committee for affording me the opportunity to present Senate Bill 63. Senate Bill 63 is identical to the bill that I carried for the past 2 years, which have both passed this committee unanimously. For the benefit of the body, SB 63 will now allow for financial institutions in the state of Missouri to receive information from DHSS regarding cannabis licensees, information which is required for financial institutions to comply with the U.S. Department of Treasury analysis to combat money laundering and other financial crimes. This bill also permits agencies involved to share information so that the banks or credit unions may ensure the business is a legal cannabis business paying taxes to the state of Missouri, banking institutions, state and federal supervisory agencies as well. Thank you very much. I do have some folks here who are able to testify into the more technical details about the bill, but I'll answer any questions if there are any.
Questions for the bill sponsor? Seeing none. First up, in favor of Senate Bill 63. And if you'll please state your name and fill out the witness form and bring it up for us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Committee, Senator Roberts. My name is Jim Regna. I'm the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Triad Bank, located in Frontenac or in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm here today to speak regarding Senate Bill number 63. We believe that as the bill as described by Senator Roberts makes sense for the financial institutions industry, which allows for banks and credit unions primarily to receive information from the Department of Health and Senior Services, which allows then financial institutions to meet their requirements or their FinCEN requirements at the federal level. The key to that is that at the marijuana is still illegal at the federal level, but if you follow the FinCEN guidelines, then you do not have the issues at the federal level in terms of enforcement or being accused of money laundering. So it really is important for the banks to have that information, to have the accuracy of the information that's going to be received from the Department of Health and Senior Services versus us trying to go out and do these inspections on our own. It allows us to maybe react more quickly to someone who may not be doing something correctly and then take actions via our FinCEN guidelines. There is a duplication at this point between what the licensees have to pay for inspections and other costs with the Department of Health and Senior Services that then we duplicate and charge them the exact same expense or the expense for the exact same reports. This bill is supported by the Missouri Division of Finance, the Division of Credit Unions, and the Missouri Bankers Association, which I'm told to get anybody to agree on anything at times in the state can be difficult, but to have all those parties in favor, I think, speaks to the bill and the public safety concerns that they have. So if there's any questions, I'd be glad to address them.
Questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anyone else wishing to testify in favor of Senate Bill 63?
Madam Chair, members of the committee, David Kent, registered lobbyist for the Missouri Bankers Association. I think Senator Roberts and Mr. Regna really summed up the gist of the bill very well, and certainly anything that will help our members provide financial services to this industry, I think is incredibly beneficial not just to our banks, but also to the businesses. This is a cash business right now for the most part, and certainly that can lead to some dangerous situations. So anything we can do to prevent that, I think, is very helpful.
Questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Anyone else wishing to testify in favor of Senate Bill 63? Seeing none, anyone here wishing to testify in opposition to Senate Bill 63? Seeing none, anyone here wishing to testify for informational purposes only for Senate Bill 63? Seeing none, Senator Roberts, any final comments?
No, thank you.
Thank you. This will conclude the hearing on Senate Bill 63. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. I have a motion and a second. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And we are adjourned.